Hey everyone, my name is JaneyLaney, creator of BlackMinecraft, and I want to welcome you to another installment of our podcast show. Ooh. And this time we do have the infamous Hazelynn, who is actually joining us, and she will be a series regular. Hey Hazelynn.
What's up, everybody?
So
What?
yeah,
What? What?
I don't know. It's just what's up, everybody? Like
What's up,
sound
everybody? Like, what do you want me
dandy.
to say? Like,
I don't know.
you there listening to my voice in your ear. How's it going? Does this help?
Yes.
Am I exciting you? You
You're
know,
getting the
you
people
listen,
going.
you listener out there. Do I get you going? Are you amped for this? Episode? Come on now. Like,
So that's Hazelyn. um, and I do want to first and foremost acknowledge our Patreon supporters. We have Daryl, Aziza, and Nicole. Thank you guys so much for supporting Black Minecraft. And if you guys would like to become a Patreon or a patron of our Patreon, that's just what it says on there. If you guys would love to support us through Patreon today, simply go to patreon.com/Black Minecraft. We do have various tiers of support, and all of the proceeds actually will go towards Black Minecraft, which helps keep the podcast for free. Like, no ads. You guys won't get any ads here. And it also lowers the upkeep costs and it provides funding for other creators. So remember, you guys can always become a Patreon today. And so now we have the show, our infamous show.
yes.
We do have a very intriguing topic on today's show. A topic that unfortunately came while I was playing a video game, while I was playing Minecraft. I don't know if you guys need a backstory on it, but I'll give you guys the backstory. So I was playing Minecraft, and they have wonderful, wonderful games inside of the wonderful maps inside the marketplace. So I decided to go ahead and get one of the marketplace maps. By the way, guys, they are doing a sale until July 12th. Just saying. So I decided to go and get this awesome, awesome, awesome map. And in the map, you are supposed to make a zoo. All right. So you're supposed to build up your zoo and you're supposed to get a lot of people to come to your zoo. They're listed as visitors. Okay. So I was in there maybe for like a good hour when I started getting people, into the zoo all the way. And I started noticing that all of the villagers look the same. All the visitors look the same. I basically made a zoo for privileged people. It was a white people zoo. Like literally there was only white people. I was so confused. Um it really got me to start thinking, mind you, this is a map that was put out June 22nd. So just last month they put this out and had nothing but white NPCs. And I know a lot of people could say stuff like, "Oh, that's just their standard villager, blah blah blah." Well, they are listed as visitors, therefore being listed as people in this map. So since they're being listed as people, then you're going from your average standard villager in Minecraft now to depicting people. So that's why I got really super thrown off, because it's not like they can't make villagers of other colors. It's not like they can't make NPCs of other colors. So then this, of course, made me ask the day old question of whether or not there are, whether or not there should be black villagers. So, Hazelyn, thoughts on black villagers?
Um, I definitely believe like it should be in the options. Like first of all, to go back on the fact that of this being a marketplace world, if you're going to have just the default villagers kind of just spawn in, you don't have like a choice because it's a part of the map or whatever. I do feel as if they should just be random of any type. I don't think it should be one. Um, it does kind of come off as being lazy and off-putting when you have the same old, I don't want to say white, but the same old same color villagers, um without any diversity. And that this is a diverse game, you know, and these aren't, like you said, just standard villagers. They're supposed to be people. So obviously people come in different, nationalities and ethnicities, different colors. So you need the content to kind of mimic that. And when it comes to gameplay, I do feel like when it comes to creating a world, there should be an option there. If you like, there should be an option of default and for villagers, and default villagers would be what we currently have right now. Or if you want villagers of different backgrounds, of different color, then there should be kind of like a preset option kind of put there, whether it's black, whether it's Hispanic, Asian, or they can even throw in a custom one in there if people want to kind of go through a color wheel of what color they would like their villagers to somewhat be, um, prior to, and to kind of set the tone for their entire game. Um, and we can definitely go on the pros and cons of that later on in this discussion, but I just kind of just want to start off from there.
Yeah. And I mean, well, either way, you brought up a good point. And I know with some personal talks with some people that they were always scared of what would happen if we even had the option to have darker skinned villagers. Um, and at one point in time, I just even still thought, maybe it would not be a good idea if they had it on the base game, because base game anybody could play it, but anybody could do like anything bad to the villagers just because they're darker. But then, you know 2 days ago, I ended up I ended up thinking about it, and I was like, they could say the same thing about signs in Minecraft, because they could say, well, I don't want to have signs in Minecraft because somebody could put a bad word on them. Like, so you can't necessarily just take out creative ideas simply because you're scared of what somebody would do with them. I mean, in all fairness, anything bad could ever happen in a game of creation. It doesn't have to be directly towards race. Like, anything could happen. So I think that um given the fact that a lot of people want to make sure that everyone has a good play experience, them deciding to not give the villagers a race, I think it works in some aspects, but then it's highly noticeable when there are maps that strictly list the villagers as people, yet and still they all look, like they're from some homogeneous society, but it's not like they're green, they are a
Right.
skin tone. They may not be the most like interesting looking skin tone in the game. I feel like they could still do the villagers a little bit better with how they do the skin presentations, but they are actually listed as a skin tone. Um, and guys, during this podcast, like, I really do want you guys to really sit down and think about what are some of your guys' pros and cons of there being an option, even of having diverse villagers, whether or not you guys think that there should be an option, anything like that. If you guys do go over to the Anchor site, which is the main site of this podcast, you guys can actually leave us voice messages and actually voice your opinions on this. So keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, but Hazelyn, you actually listed something interesting that I didn't think about. Um, the option of doing the color wheel.
Yeah, because basically, to not include something just because you're concerned that people are going to abuse it kind of stifles growth and limits inclusion, right? Um, for example, on Java, you can have different, not just texture, but resource packs or whatever. And some of those resource packs, people, change their villagers. And there are some very interesting resource packs out there where, people are able to change their villagers and have them look more like, quote unquote, something that resembles their environment more. And then you have some people who literally have changed the name of their villagers to racial slurs, you know so to sit here if there are people, behind in Mojang or Microsoft that's just like, we don't want to do this because it's such a, like, people are already doing that, you know um that that's just an excuse, if that is the case. um Capability is there, it's just a matter of implementing it. Minecraft has been around for Minecraft's been around for what, 13, 14?
It's been let's see here, 2009 was the alpha, and 2011 was the actual release. So it's been around 10 years, 10 plus years.
It's been, yeah, so it's been around for quite some time, and it's still one of the highest, rated playing games there is. Um, the perks of it being a pixelated games age very well. There's not much for people to expect from a pixelated game. They age very well. Um, but with that though, that you have more people from different demographics now have accessibility than they did 10 years ago, being able to get the game, whether it's on the computer, whether it's by console. And they need to be able to make sure that they can add in-game tools to also help reflect that audience.
Right. And even even still, so like I said, the map that I played came out last month, okay? I have played several maps, including even including a Minecraft, one that was made directly from Minecraft. It was the Jurassic Park map, or Jurassic World. It was either Jurassic Park or Jurassic World map, where the NPCs they were all diverse. They were all diverse. So on and honestly, a lot of times now, mind you, I'm not a game dev. All right, not a game dev. Wouldn't want to be a game dev. I think I have mad respect for game devs. But what I don't have respect for are people that have the capabilities but choose not to do so, because they can easily make a darker skinned villager. It is like, because even if you guys actually pay attention to how the villagers are, you will notice that some villagers do have a hint of different shade to them. They're just different, like, honest. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They're different shades of white people. Okay, they have the
Mm-hmm.
tanned ones and the not so tanned ones. We all
Yeah,
know
yeah,
this. But
yeah.
we're just asking that you make it possible that we could have different colored villagers. And I mean, hey, if that's such a big problem, then why is it you guys just don't make them green or purple or something like that? Because when I see a villager, and hey, I might, maybe I'm racist for this, we don't know. But when I see a villager, a default villager, I'm always thinking that they are some white person.
Mm.
They make a little noise at you, and this, that, and the third. Now, I have played with some textures. Shout out to Pure BD Craft. Yes, I shouted you guys out. Now, they have a lot of their texture based upon some Star Wars characters. So each biome that you go to, the villagers actually look different. They're a different Star Wars character. Now it would be cool, and I know that this could still go awry because let me find out that the black people live in the jungle. Let me find out that that's where they put the dark people at. Whoa. But it's a thing where if you honestly want to sit down and put some skin tone to this game, if that's really what you want to do, and you did it as per biomes. Now, mind you, like I said, that could still go awry, whatever. But if you just wanted to implement just something in there, that would be really great. It would be like, you guys don't get how amazing it would be to a child to see a black villager. And yes, you might have some people that decide to kill the black villager with fire just because. Well, guess what? I kill villagers all the time, all right? I
This is
do.
true. She does.
I
Yes.
do. And it used to be worse before I found out that there's an achievement for like trading with them. Oh, it used to be way worse. Like I used to like run around with the flint and all of that stuff, a little, flint and steel and stuff like that, and set them ablaze. And then also push them off of stuff. Like I used to do a whole bunch of menacing things. But it's just the fact that this could happen to any villager. Any villager can get killed. Like the nitwits, for example. And
Yeah.
the one thing I borderline don't like about the nitwits, and we're going to be 100% candid about this, is that because I do use a texture pack where the nitwit has little googly eyes. Okay. The one thing I don't like about the nitwit is that sometimes I have felt that the nitwit was kind of like a mentally challenged person. And I know that that's really weird of me to say, but I've seen the texture packs. I've seen how some textures perceive the nitwit in a very different type of way. Plus, homeboy won't even have a job.
Mm.
So it's really weird how they have certain aspects to these villagers, but you can't even do something as simple as to change the colors. So it's kind it just kind of just like makes me just really wonder. I would like to know more about why they came up with the villager designs. Where were they going with these villager designs? And is there a chance that we are going to be thinking about upgrading the villager design? Um in the base game, like I shouldn't have to have Java in order to have different villagers. I don't think that that's fair. I think it would be nice if we could have multicultural uh, villagers. That would be a great thing. Um, and I do think that that would be a step up for the game, seeing as how Minecraft says that they said that they're about diversity before. And it's like, how are you about diversity if it seems like your game is just geared towards non-dark people?
Yeah. To basically like echo off what you just said, and um I do feel like for example, you said you feel that the nitwit is of special needs, but I mean there's reason behind that, and part of that is just because throughout history, if people have ever taken a history lesson, and or even an English course in that, and we talk about towns, and people talk about the local or the town idiot. um you know it honestly usually was someone actually who is of special needs.
Right.
They themselves are not an idiot, but to society standards they are.
Right.
you know and when so your outlook on the nitwit in Minecraft definitely stems from there, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Right.
because that would be accurate. Because I mean, you have to think about it, right? When most people play a building game like Minecraft, and there are characters in it, you can create your own avatar, There's NPCs in the game in which you can socialize. We tend to do things that are similar slash familiar to us. So a lot of us, not everyone, I'm just saying a lot of us, we tend to make our avatar, our first avatar anyway. We might have those down the line, which we have some crazy ones, but our first one we tend to make look like us. We want to have ourselves in this virtual world, right? And then now you're talking about the villagers, the NPCs that are a part of this game. Well, I'm gonna think of them as actual people as well. You know, I'm gonna think of them as intersex people, and and to me as well, they appear to be white. You know,
Right.
so if I've made myself a person of color, a black person, a black Minecrafter in my town, but I'm surrounded by white people. It's just like, wow, okay. And so you're telling me there's no other villager of color that lives somewhere? Like they
Listen,
don't live in.
listen, I need some solidarity because in the event that anything goes down, I need to know whose house I can stay in. Who's going to let me into their house? Who's going to open the door versus slam it in my face?
Right, right. So I, going back to, like I said, like the selector, they don't even have to put kind of a color wheel of sorts. They can just put like a pre-selection of hues, I guess you could say, and at the end of it, and you can just kind of go from there. Um, but that still allows people choice in the matter of what they want,
Right.
and how they want their worlds to look. Because like I said, we tend to do things or replicate things that are in the real world in our actual world. You see it time and time again where people have spent years replicating IRL, cities in their Minecraft world,
Mm-hmm.
IRL monuments in their Minecraft world. So it's not silly to want to, have something feel even more like our own, that we're a part of this virtual space.
Right. And I feel like it's a slap in our face when people will say things like, oh, it's not about race, or when they'll say things like, oh, we just don't want to offend anybody. Because yes, there may be some people who are, they're honest about that. That's really how they feel. But then it still presents the underlying tone that no, you just don't want to see darker skinned people in there.
Well, not
Because
just that, and it also comes off as you're saying that by including me, it's offensive,
right.
you know, and therefore you're showing your prejudice, you're showing your discriminatory factor, and you're also showing that you guys are not ready to, at the end of the day, stand up behind your brand
Right. And the thing about
when
it
it
is
comes to
that
it being called out.
I'm sitting up here like, who's it offensive to? If I'm black and I'm asking about it, who's it
Right,
offensive to? Is it offensive to white people because it does they don't count in this matter because it's not
right,
them. They're already
right,
everywhere in the game. There's barely any base skin, like any skins that you could honestly really get in the marketplace. So for anybody who doesn't understand the difference between marketplace and Java. So there are two main different types. Well, there's actually three different types of Minecraft. So you have Minecraft Education Edition, which Minecraft Education Edition hits the head with most of the diversity. To be honest, they have several different diverse maps, but that's behind a paywall of Education Edition. You also have to have an educator's email. So there are a lot of people that will never have access to that. Okay. Then you have Bedrock Edition. Bedrock Edition is essentially your console in Windows 10 editions. You can play that on a Switch, on the phone, and all that stuff. All those devices can play together. They have what is called the marketplace. The Minecraft marketplace allows people to purchase skins, textures, maps, all of that good stuff. Now on console you are technically not allowed to have your own custom skin. Now, I know that there's gonna be people who are gonna say, "Well, I have a custom skin." Look, you're illegal because you legally cannot do that. Okay, okay. You can have, though, custom skins on mobile and on Windows 10 edition. So if anybody's ever playing Bedrock and they do have a custom skin, 9 times out of 10, like a fully custom skin, not talking about just on the character creator that Minecraft came out with, but a fully customed skin, um, they're 9 times out of 10 playing on Windows 10 edition, or they are playing on mobile. Then you have Java. Java, essentially, yes, you can play the base game of Minecraft, but Java is usually where people do their mods. Like, they do all sorts of different modded material. Like, I've seen people playing on compute, like they will be playing their Java game and their character will be on a computer on the internet. That was one of my first times ever seeing Java, was when somebody had their Minecraft character going on google.com. It was weird. There's so much stuff that they could do. But Java, all right, in order to actually have Java and then run it and utilize these textures and mods and all of this stuff, you actually have to have a decent computer. So that still presents another paywall, an additional paywall for a lot of users sometimes to actually have, the means of being able to run all these things. Because I've seen people run Java on a regular laptop and they're not able to use the mod packs, the shaders and stuff, because it'll break the whole thing. All right. So on the Bedrock edition, where you have like most of the limited amount of access, all right, there's nothing but usually default villagers. And so that makes up a good portion of their player base, is just used to just seeing these default villagers. Imagine if they decided to update the default villagers to include people of color. And it was and for it to not even be a choice, but they just included people of color, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like they would be doing some justice, because now a kid could go into their world and see a villager that might even look like their character that they're playing with. Like, it just to me it just seems like it is so much more rewarding. Also, you actually might have people treat villagers better, to be honest,
Mm.
because then you're going to have more people who are going to be able to look at them as real people versus looking at them as some weird wild folks in robes running around going
Yeah.
like all of that mess. And yeah, I mean, I just don't see what the issue is with adding them, because they have the technology to do it. Like, it's not like being darker skin is a new concept.
Yeah.
They
And
have it to do it.
like I said, all that stuff, that is something that can be, like I said, added to the drop down section of a new world. You know, when
Right.
you make your new world on Bedrock or on Java Edition, you know, when it goes into the customization breakdown, if you don't go into the actual customization of your world prior to going into your world, then it's just going to be default. But if you're like, hey, I actually would like my world and the villagers in it to have some flavor, hell, heck, they can have a diversity, option there
Right.
where each villager is going to be a different color.
Right. And then,
You know?
what really gets me is this. Remember when they started adding jobs?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that you guys were able to make a bunch of different looking villagers? Like, they and now they all have jobs, right? So now a lot of them look totally different from one another. Like you can now look at a villager and know what their job is. You gave the fishermen people wait, no, was it no, it's the was it the farmers or the villagers that have or the fishermen that have
Farmers
hats?
have that.
The straw
The
hat,
farmers, I believe, have
right?
hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can look at a villager and know what their job is. So I'm like, if you can do that, why the heck? Like, it's so simple. And and so guys, just to give you guys a little bit of a background on Hazelynn, she actually plays a lot of The Sims. And The Sims, oh, The Sims have been around way longer. And they have even dealt with the skin issue, but theirs was even worse because they had the black skins, but they always looked ashy. Like they looked ashy, unkempt, ugly, terrible hair, and just a total hot mess. And people are still saying the same thing. They were like, "Yo, you could just have a slider." So then, so then you can make your character look good and actually have legit pigments on this. I, for instance, have made several Minecraft skins, and I just go and look online and I could get the hex code and all of that from the skin colors. Like so
Yeah.
honestly, there's no excuse. There really is no excuse. And the only people that ever might get offended by black people being inside this game are the shareholders, because we all know that the shareholders are white.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just over the top on this. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Mad black woman. Just maybe. But I literally have been just sitting here playing the game like you don't like I just find it amazing that people don't feel like this is a little weird.
I I feel like, well, not I feel. I know that, we all know those, who are listening, if you're a color, if it doesn't pertain, if you're white and it doesn't pertain to them, they oversee it.
Right.
You know, if it, I don't, I never thought that that could be an issue. I never thought that that would be a problem. Well, of course not, because it wouldn't affect you.
Right. But where are your
You know,
guys' black friends at? Because whenever people talk about stuff, there's always the people, my friend is black. Like, where are
right,
you guys at?
right.
Where are you guys at standing for your fellow brethren? like where is the solidarity when it comes down to the video game industry actually implementing black people?
Well, a lot of these companies, they they say how they are with an open mind, but they really don't look at things at different perspectives.
They
Because
don't.
you have to look at stuff more. It's not a gender of different perspectives. You have to look at ethnicities, cultures, where people come from. People just implement stuff, and sometimes half the time it's half done.
Right.
They implement it. They're like, it's kind of like, here, this is just to make you happy. But well, no, I'm not happy. I'm even mad now. Because you did this one thing and you didn't do it. You didn't even do this one thing correctly. Okay, so now it's worse than it was before. You know, so it's like they do something to kind of just pacify us, and we as we as the consumers, as gamers, as the audience, we need to be like, you know what, that's cool, and I see where you're going with this, but we need more and we need better,
Right.
and,
And
and we need that now.
and
You
guys,
know,
guys, there will be actually a YouTube there will be a YouTube video of this. I'm thinking about also adding some visuals to it, just so you guys can kind of get a synopsis of what's going on. But even still, so they have an Egyptian mythology mashup pack on Minecraft. I actually have it. I've played on it several times. So your villagers have now all been reskinned to look like people from Egypt. Now, this is not to get confused with the other Egyptian mess that they have on the marketplace. Don't no, because that other one, everybody was fair skinned, and I was like, you guys are in Egypt. You guys would all like crisp. Don't try me. But this one is called um this one is the because I just want to get the proper name. It was the Egyptian mythology mashup. Okay, and you have darker skinned villagers, men and women, all right. You have a lot of things that were and are actually in Egypt. And I'm just sitting up here thinking to myself, since it can be done, my question is, why is this not a normal thing? Like, why do you have to make a pack for this and then that's it? So then now,
Essentially a paywall.
right, putting a paywall. So then now people have to decide, do I even want these people or not? Like that, and so it's just not fair. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm sitting up here because, guys, when I first started playing Minecraft, and we will talk about this on another podcast. We will get very deep into the creation of Minecraft skins. We will get very deep into that. But when I first started playing Minecraft, I actually had to end up paying to be a black person because at the time there was no character creator made where you could go ahead and create your skin yourself or whatever. And so I'm just sitting up there thinking to myself, the paywalls that they put between us and some of this content is kind of wild because I see what they're doing. And it's not just Minecraft. Like, to be honest with you guys, this is not really just picking on Minecraft because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, this was in the Minecraft game, but also there was a specific company that made the map that had like all white people at the zoo, anyways. So I'm calling you guys out. I hope you guys are listening to me, okay? But no, but this is something that happens in a lot of games, and if you strategically look at these paywalls, you will start really thinking to yourself, you're literally trying to make people of color pay more money into your game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's wild because there are some games where if you want certain hairstyles which happen to be of ethnic texture, because of course that is the most politically correct way of saying it, if you
Mm.
want to get those ethnic hairstyles, you have to either spend your in-game currency or spend actual money. And so that sometimes will make somebody think, oh gosh, do I really want to do this? And that shouldn't be the case off of something that should be given at the same costs.
Like I'm gonna like I will say this though. I will kind of spin it this way. I wouldn't mind paying for something like a villager pack if
Right.
I knew that each world I can interchange those villagers. And I mean a villager pack, like for example, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Um like if somebody made a villager pack based off of living single. I know I'm dating myself, but I'm just saying that because everybody says friends. Okay,
I'm
and
dead.
friends are literally the white version of living single. Okay? They are literally the white version of living single.
We
So
are
I'm
living
saying, yeah.
single.
So I'm saying living single because as far as in the the 90s black community goes, it, it was you had different shades of 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 black as well as um equal females and males, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they did something like, hey, each time you make this is a resource pack, a texture pack for your villagers. Each time you make a new world, this pack's going to be loaded. That's cool. I pay that.
Right.
Okay, but what I don't like is the simple fact that in order for somebody to have villagers of color, they have to have this specific pack. and you can only have and use this specific pack in order to have them. Okay, well, what if I don't want Egypt? What if I
Right.
just want the people?
Right.
I just want the
Exactly.
people. I don't
I'm
want Egypt.
look. We're not promoting slavery or anything like that. We're taking them out. But listen, if I could just take the Egyptians out of Egypt real quick. But
Right.
no, that is something though, like allowing it to be used anywhere, because most people do not play on mashup packs every single day. No, you
Right.
play the mashup pack. You probably play it until you complete it, or or really until you get tired of it. But people don't. You are rarely ever going to meet somebody who plays a mashup pack for a whole year. You are
Right.
rarely ever. If that person does it, I don't understand why. Like there's nobody who really does that. But it would be really nice if we could go ahead and get something like that. And guys, this is BlackMinecraft. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in the lab, okay? And yes, I did apply to become a marketplace partner. Yes, I did. I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I would love to be able to get some people onto something like that and actually have them create a nice texture pack with it. Because check this out, Pure BD Craft is a texture pack. All villagers get reskinned.
Mm.
All villagers get reskinned. And I could use that going into several different things. I've used that on one of my friends' maps, and I use that as my personal texture pack. So then I was able to see stuff like that because I really love the Star Wars aesthetic. I really love the smoothness of the textures. Like I really do love that. So if they were able to actually have, even if it was just a villager skin pack, because I'm pretty sure that you can do it. Now, say for instance, they're like, well, you can't just have villagers reskinned, you also have to have textures reskinned. Guess what? You know how many darn texture packs are just vanilla? We could still do that, but just change up all the
Right.
villagers. Because let's
Right.
be honest, there are like a thousand versions of a vanilla texture, and I'm every single time they come out with it, they're like, "Oh, new texture pack alert!" I'm sitting up there like, "Hey, yo, son, that's the same vanilla texture. You guys didn't do it." They'll like post on Twitter and they'll post their progress, and it'll be like one part of the gravel block will be a little bit darker, and then boom, we have a new texture pack. So in the event that we need to go ahead and have somebody create a base block texture and regular texture aesthetic or something like that, whatever, and then but just mainly have us work on the reskinning of the villagers, then that's fine. I would be down for that. And I know that several other people would not mind paying the mine coins for it because A, it would be done correctly. B, it could be used anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then also C, because it would be really just nice to be able to have that aesthetic in a game that we spend so many hours on.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I think that this would also definitely promote more people who are of color to be okay with using a skin that depicts a person of color versus hiding behind skins, because I know so many people who have told me they don't pick skins that look like, look like how they actually look because they're scared of getting picked on and all that stuff. But if you have villagers that look like that, that's just, it's opening up the doors.
If you have villagers that look like friendly black people, white people will like that. That's what I got.
Right. Right. And don't and
So
listen.
if we made a pack with Kevin Hart.
Oh Jesus. Oh my god. I can't.
Okay, you know, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, freaking, I don't know. I'm just throwing some names out there. LeBron James, you know, um,
the
these
blacks
blacks.
with the money.
They
Not
the
the
right, they
blacks
the
with the
blacks with the money. Okay, we know these black people. They've got money.
money.
They're on TV. They're all right. And
They
so
have gated
we
mansions. They're perfectly
so we
fine.
so we so we gotta warm them up first with that, right? And then we can put just the random black people.
Right. Then we're just gonna put the ones that don't have the money. They'll be like, what happened? Who's this? That's LeBron's cousin, Romeo. They'll be like, okay, all right. And make sure that they all have jobs. Don't
uh,
don't be. Make sure that they're all functional, because I mean, I'll be making out jokes on them too, but just make sure that they're all functional. But no, that
yeah,
is really something that I would definitely love to see. And and it's not just, oh, just have black people and that's it. Um
of course not. Of course. Well, we're speaking on it because we're
right.
black. But
Right, exactly.
obviously, but obviously, you're gonna want Latinas.
Right.
You're gonna want to have Native Americans. You're
Exactly.
gonna want to have Asians. You're gonna want to have those that are Filipino. Obviously, we want to include all those of color.
Right.
You know, um, so we're speaking on it because we're black, and so we're gonna
Exactly.
take it from a black perspective and spin on things. But at the end of the day, this is not just for black. It is for all people of color.
Exactly.
So I do hope that doesn't get lost in the conversation for those that are listening.
Right. Because, I just always want people to understand, yes, I'm all about diversity and inclusion, but there are often times where I could only speak as a black person, as a black woman, because that is what I am. I'm not going to try to speak for people that have voices, themselves. Like, I can't
Exactly.
do that, because I may say something that may not be the general consensus, and then that's when I would be in the wrong, because then that's me trying to put my voice on top of somebody else's voice. If they have the voice to speak, then you need to let them speak. And so that's why, like, I, even though, yes, I'm all about diversity and inclusion, I'll make sure I don't step beyond my boundaries. I have boundaries. Everybody else has boundaries. But that's also another reason why we need to get more black people actually in the marketplace, because there's not a lot of black people in the marketplace. So therefore, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know what? Huh. Maybe we are the ones to step up and do this, because clearly trying to ask the marketplace to do it, and the marketplace is predominantly white. I actually, and I will say this, I have met a lot of the marketplace partners physically. Okay? So,
Mm,
yes,
mm-hmm.
they are mostly all white. It would be nice if we got more people of color there. Now, there are a few people of color who do work in the marketplace, cuz for those of you guys who don't know, the marketplace is actually comprised of various companies. So you have the marketplace, that's the whole. So think of the marketplace as literally a marketplace. Think of each marketplace partner as a vendor. Okay? So that is how the marketplace is actually set up. You do have some Minecraft created, like directly from Minecraft created maps. And then like the other maps and stuff are just by these companies. It would be nice to be able to see more of us. There was a map that I played, where it was called, I think it's Spanish 101, and it's where you're learning Spanish. And it was actually created, I believe that the marketplace partner, like the individual person who created it, is from Argentina. They based it off of Argentinian Spanish.
Okay. All right.
They actually had uh, their voices
That's
in it.
different.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Trust me, I would look. I did good. All right, there were a couple words that I said. Look, I didn't know that that's what that was, but it was really great. It was a really way for people to also, of course, learn Spanish. But it was
Right.
also really awesome for because I streamed it. It was really awesome for Spanish speaking people to actually have seen this, to hear, to hear the Spanish and to actually feel like they've been included. So that's
Mm.
why this representation is so important because when you feel that you are being represented correctly, not just to hit a mark, but you're actually being represented in ways of love and in ways of the fact that you are a human. When you're actually being represented, it feels different, it hits different. And I don't
Yeah.
know why people haven't realized, yo, if you want to boost up sales, okay? Cuz if we want to look at this from a business standpoint, if you
Yeah.
included more people of color in your guys' stuff, you know how much more money you guys would make? That's why things like GTA is so successful. Things like NBA 2K so successful because you have implemented from the jump. There were black people. There were Hispanic people allowed. Mind you, I don't like 2K, all right? Shout out to the 2K people though cuz you guys are amazing. But still, I don't like 2K and I don't like GTA. Shout out to everybody who does GTA. But they have actually done it right. It really bothers me that these games that are usually strategically they're kind of made for adults. Not saying that kids
Yeah.
don't play them, but especially GTA is a rated M for mature game. It bothers me that they're easy to go ahead and put in these skin colors. But then you have Minecraft where you have kids. Kids, this is our future. If our future is only seeing white as the standard, how does this help?
Yeah.
So it's just weird. It's a weird concept to have to bring up because you would think it'd just be basic. It should just be common sense. If you have
Mm.
villagers that are supposed to be like people, why can't you just make them like people? Or better yet, if you have villagers in general, why do they just all look the same? They're just
Mm.
wearing different clothes. Like how lazy is that? And yeah, Minecraft, I'm calling you out for it because how lazy do you have to be to sit up there and just throw clothes on a character and that's it. Throw different clothes on them. Well, you know what? If you guys are really about the diversity in which you guys preach, you guys need to change it up. And it doesn't take a survey to do that. Don't ask people if that's what they want as a leader in the video game industry because Minecraft is a leader. All right? You guys have been around for over a decade as a leader in the video game industry. You guys owe it to your communities to do this. And asking people whether or not it would be a safe thing to do, that's cute that you guys do that. That's cute. But at the end of the day, it's still your guys' social responsibility to get this done. Because if you are going to preach that you are for diversity, you need to practice. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just saying.
So totally agree. And I mean, if they don't know where to go with that, then instead of just being scared, they just need to say, "Hey, we need to consult some people."
Right.
You know, we need to act. This is something that we are honestly not familiar with. We are looking in. what we have as far as our actual people, we're realizing that we don't really have anybody to handle this the way that it needs to be handled. So then you need to start consulting some people,
Right.
you know,
And
and you have people who are right here that can definitely help you with that to start off.
hello. If you guys need to get in contact with me, it's info@blackminecraft.com. My DMs are open. You people know me. Okay? All right? Shout out to Christina for putting my black skin on that last article that they had. But you people know me. All right? I didn't just pop up from the woodwork. All right? You guys know me. Feel free to reach out. And don't tell me that you're going to reach out and then don't. Now, mind you, normally, yes, there would be consultation fees for this kind of service. Because this is doing consultation on how to make you more money, but also consultation on how you can actually have better standards for your product. So yes, technically this would normally be a paid service, but because I like Minecraft so much, I'll give you free game. There's not a problem. I can show you references. I can show you everything that I use when I create my Minecraft skins. I can show you everything you need to know. I could sit up there now. Okay, this part actually would be paid. But I could sit up there and train all of your marketplace partners on how to depict a black person in Minecraft.
That would definitely need to be.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, it's like I don't mind certain stuff doing certain stuff pro bono, but that nah, you know, just listen, pay me like how you pay other people. That's all I ask. But like, you know, if this is something that you guys honestly do struggle with, even if you guys are not in the vicinity of doing the Minecraft game, but maybe you guys are into a different game, or maybe you guys are just are maybe into like animation, or just, you know, just anything like this, um feel free to reach out to people. And you know, that ties us back into one of our main goals of Black Minecraft, is to have these discussions on diversity and inclusion, and to get more Black Minecrafters out there. You know, get those content creators out there. That's why it's important to know who your content creators are. Therefore, you could bounce ideas off of them. If you're like, okay, I'm not too sure about this, but hey, I know that there's a content creator right there in front of my face who could help me out with it, let me go ahead and reach out to them. Like, I don't feel like it's asking for too much. I feel like honestly it saves down on the costs, and it also saves down on your guys' embarrassment from doing something incorrect. So, yeah. So
And
any, you know,
I feel like also because whenever they do stuff like that, and then they, you know, try to get the bigger Minecrafters involved, um which, you know, we know are mainly white. Um and I understand that they're doing that because of, you know, they have a viewership, but their audience doesn't care.
right.
You know, if they're gonna do that, they need. I feel that they need to take that opportunity to uplift a Minecrafter of color
Right.
and put them on a platform, on a pedestal,
Right.
and give them the opportunity to showcase things that their audience would care for.
Exactly. And don't do it, don't do this stuff in secret. I what One of the biggest things that I hate is I hate NDAs that go over diversity topics. I don't
Mm,
feel like I don't feel like diversity needs to be something kept under NDA.
right.
Because when it's kept under NDA, it's kept out of general public. Kept out of general public, people think it never happened. People think it never happened. They keep living on like it never happened. Like, there's so many things that are under NDA that I have in my head every single day where I'm like, shoot, I wish I could go ahead and say that this happened. But even if I said it happened and I broke NDA, people still wouldn't believe it because the companies in which created that NDA never talk about it publicly either.
Mm.
So I do feel like, yes, you guys need to step it up. Contact your creators of color. Matter of fact, because this is public knowledge, there was a post that a Mojang staff member created and asked for creators, Black and POC creators. And I gave a long list, the longest list of names. The longest list of names. And it wasn't just Black, it wasn't just Hispanic. There were people there who live in Asia who only speak Asian languages. Like I gave you guys a list of all different types of creators from all different platforms, people with large viewership sizes, holding down over 200 people plus in a live stream. In a live stream. There's also some creators that have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube who are Black, who you guys have not done anything with.
Mm.
So at this point in time, I don't know what other excuses there are going to be. But at this point in time, you guys are running out. Why? Because A, I'm JaneyLaney and I said what I said. Okay, there's that. But also, this is 2021. 2021. The game has been out on full release for 10 years. That means kids who started playing when they were 10 are now 20. You guys have had a big impact on the world. Your game does have so many different foundations of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, also known as STEAM. That means you guys are actually affecting the minds of a lot of people. So if your guys' excuse for not having a darker skinned villager was to not offend, I really do have to question, who are you honestly offending? Is it your shareholders that have been backing you guys for these past years? Is it the marketplace people themselves? Is it Minecraft themselves? Is it Mojang themselves? But who are you guys honestly going to defile by implementing Black villagers? And once you find out who those people are, remove them. Because then that means that the thought of diversity makes them sick. That means that the thought of seeing somebody who does not look like them, someone who does not speak like them, bothers them. So, Minecraft, if you want to go ahead and take a step up in the gaming industry, because this would honestly be a giant step up if you guys were to do so. If you guys wanted to go ahead and do that, then I say by all means, make it happen. But don't ever give a sorry excuse for why it's not happening. Tell the truth, shame the devil, and admit that you just don't want Black people to be in the space. If you admit that, I'll somewhat back off. I can't promise I'll back off all the way because I really do like the game. But if you admit that that's really what it is, maybe I won't have this subject again. No, I lied. I still would. I don't care. So maybe, no, I mean, look, there's nothing to make me back off. Yeah, I wanted it to sound good because I didn't want to sound like, evil. But no, like I'm very serious about this. Like just making the small things. This is a small thing. It's really crazy that the smallest thing can make a giant impact. But that's why they don't want to do it, because it makes a giant impact for people that are not white. Hello, like that's really what it is. But just going ahead and putting this into your game, this can really help to set the standard for some other games. This can help set the standard for a lot of the building games. This can help set the standard for a lot of games that do have a big child-based audience, to let them know it's not bad to do this. It's okay. And honestly, if Parents get upset because they see that their child is playing with black people in it. Okay? They honestly get upset off of that. Let them. Let them get
Yeah.
upset. Let them tell their children that they can't play the game anymore because the child's going to realize that it was only after the black people were implemented. Prove to the children who their parents really are. But that was just my dissertation. That that was my chicken soup for the black person soul. Do they have one for that? I stopped doing chickens, but that's chicken soup. Chicken soup for the BlackMinecrafter. Oh, that's my book.
I think they did have chicken soup for the black or
Really?
something along the line. There are so many chicken soup books out there. There are so many chicken soup books out there. Chicken soup.
Well, I might make chicken soup for the BlackMinecrafter.
Yes, that's what
Try
it was.
me.
Chicken soup for the black woman's soul or African American woman's soul. I
Yes.
do remember that. I do remember that being a book. Yes. Yep.
Well, look, this is Black Woman part 2.5. Okay.
Yep. I do remember that.
Man, that's crazy. So guys, we are wrapping it up here. You guys got a good episode. We might make all of our episodes about an hour. Since we could obviously do this. I was thinking about just doing them 30 minutes, but this was some meaty stuff.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I was
Yeah.
expecting about half an hour, but I wasn't expecting it to get as in depth as it did, but I'm happy it did. I'm
Heck
happy
yeah.
it did.
Yeah. Shoot. We did this with only 2 people. Imagine when we get everybody else in here.
Oh my, oh my God, we're gonna have to have like, I don't know if we can do that without cams. Like, I feel like people might have to see each other so they
Yes.
know when somebody's about to talk.
Yes.
So
I mean,
people are not talking.
I would love for it to be that we have community roundtable. Like I would love for everybody to sit up with their cameras on. Of course, this would be a time when the wig is on, the eyebrows are on, and I'm looking like a whole human. Of course.
Of course, I would not
But
have my hair tied up like I am right now.
I mean, I would definitely love to do that. It helps
I
so
also
much. Hmm.
I also would like to get someone who might have a different perspective.
I'm listening.
Like, because I was raised on dialogue and discussion. I
Right.
love dialogue and discussion. I love hearing what people have to say. I love the perspective, everything. I also like when you have someone who is completely either indifferent to the topic or is 180 to what is
I
being
mean, we
discussed
could definitely
because
have
they
white people because I know white people. I know a lot. Listen, guys, I have white friends. Okay, no, 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 but further, I really do. I really do. I
but
I really do. Yes.
obviously I know white people as well, right? But are these friends people who don't necessarily see what's wrong and like they're behind you but they don't get it, or are they
I
friends
have
that they completely understand and therefore we don't really get the opposite side?
I have people
Okay.
who can be okay, let's just put it this way. I do have people who are really indifferent, but because I think that they're borderline scared of me, they act like they get it when I know that they don't because I see their
Okay.
comments on
Okay.
social media and I'm just still sitting up here like, "Yo, do you
Right. Right.
really?"
Okay.
But
Then
yeah,
yeah,
no,
I
we could
think
get
that
people.
would be awesome. I think that would be awesome if they want, obviously, if they want to be included, but they
Right.
have to understand that, when it's their turn to actually say something, this isn't going to be a no, I'm pass. No, we want to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Like this is that's why we added you to this discussion.
Right. And
this isn't a I'm a pass.
and that's the thing is that like I mean, I can definitely ask them, but I know that one of the situations at hand is that they don't want to go through the cancellation thing. But of course, guys, you know, if you guys do watch my content or anything like that, I'm all about the discussion. When I did a Juneteenth program last year, I actually had there was a kid on there that said that, you know, that George Floyd deserved what happened to him. Yeah, he said it. I didn't end the show. I didn't get mad or anything because A, he's a kid. B, I knew he was talking out the side of his neck anyways. And also C, I really wanted to understand where he was coming from. And for him to be that open and receptive to being able to say it, I appreciated that a lot because often black people, a lot of people are scared of black people. They're scared of say something against black people. I mean, I don't want people to be all gung ho and be able to just call people N words, you know, nothing like that. But, you know, they're so scared to speak up against a black person's idea that they then go into this shell and say that they understand when they actually don't. And that's how stuff. And like I said before, I would never want to speak, you know, for people, but that's how things happen is because somebody is too scared to say what they really want to say, so they do this performative thing where they act like they're, you know, down with everybody, but they're really not, and it shows in their work. But definitely, so we can definitely find some people, you know, one or two people that are able to do that. I just have to make sure that they're not very argumentative and that they could actually have a conversation.
Yes, yes, because that at the end of the day, that's all it's about.
Yeah.
You know, um, we're not here to argue. We just want to make sure can we have an actual discussion of
Right.
different perspectives. You know,
Right.
and if somebody's mind ends up getting changed, that's cool too.
Right.
That's the whole point of the whole dialogue.
Exactly. I mean, because that's the reason. That's why wars end up getting started is because you have people who don't understand each other, choose not to understand each other, and just want to go ahead and
Yes.
obliterate each other. So I'm down for it. Now, if I ever get into an argument with you, it's because you have not only crossed the line, but you did it maliciously. Other than that, there are people that do say some wild stuff that I don't consider it malicious if that's what you really think versus you saying something to get a reaction out of me. Then I don't. But yeah, so we can definitely do something like that. Like that would be great. I just know that there's so many people who are like scared, and it's like, look, I'm not gonna do nothing to you. I won't think of you any differently unless you say something totally wild.
Yeah.
I will not think of you any differently because half the time I don't care. Plus, if you said something totally wild, people are listening. They'll get you before I do. Like, I don't mind.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, that can definitely be done. Could definitely be done.
All right. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah. So guys, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I really do appreciate you guys for coming to listen. We had Hazelynn on the podcast today. You guys will be hearing more from Hazelynn, especially on next episode where we take a more in-depth look at Hazelynn. Hey, she actually might be running that whole entire podcast herself. I might not even be there. We don't know. Whatever she wants to do, you know. But
Wow. Just throw me into the ocean. Here's some floaties. I got you here. Bye now.
listen, you gotta pay $2.99 for the floaties. So I hope you brought some money. But you know, you guys will be hearing from her. She is technically going to be a co-host. I don't really want to say series regular because well, I think co-host would be a fine thing to say. I don't know. Whatever the
It's
heck
fine.
that she is, whatever she wants to be, she'll be
Here.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she will be one of the regular voices that you guys do hear on the podcast. Um And yeah, you guys will hear more from her, more about her on next episode. I do want to once again say thank you to everyone who is a Patreon. And just so you guys do know, the Patreon members are getting their benefits on this month. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out those tiers at patreon.com/BlackMinecraft. And just let you guys know, we are now on basically all podcasting channels and stations. So anywhere, like if all you do is type in Black Minecraft podcast, you should pop us up. Wherever you guys are listening to this at may have all of the external links for where all we could be, found at. But also we do have a Twitter at _Black Minecraft. That is our Twitter handle, and you could always feel free to tweet us. You can use #BlackMinecraft if you have a question, this, that, and the third. Go ahead and also email us once again at info at minecraft.com. So, so I can't wait to hear from you guys. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Any last words, Hazelynn?
I will see you guys on the next one, all right? All right. That's all I got to say. Okay?
All right, guys. Have a great day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever the heck you got going on. Have a good one. All right. Bye, guys.